Welcome back to another Wrong Trousers video. This week we are doing the Round Island race for the first time. We'll be racing the Melges 15 in the PY class against approximately 30 other boats. The race itself is quite simple. It starts off with a beat to the red mark, and then you have to round the orange turning mark to starboard. After that you can choose which way you want to go around Ireland's Eye. One thing to note though is you have to stay to the south of the yellow mark to avoid all the rocks that may be hidden under the high water. Joining me for the race is longtime friend Tom. Myself and Tom grew up sailing together, and we did a lot of our courses over the summers together. Although we only raced together once in the GP14 Nationals in 2021, where we managed to win the bronze fleet. And I think this is the last time that Tom sailed with me.
Okay, gonna jive in here. 3, 2, 1. Pressure on? Yeah, got it. Okay, just take a bit of cutting on for me, please. Yeah. There you go, yeah, that's it. Okay, 40 seconds. Gonna stay beneath the arrows, I think they can point higher than us. Jib off, please. Yeah, okay, just a half jib, just keep us moving a little bit. Okay, I've got eyes on the fin and we're a bit far back. Jib on, just get us going. 25, okay, that's too tight. Yeah. 18 seconds, clear from behind. Okay. Jib on, please. Ease it. We're going to build speed. Okay, height. 4, 3. Kick her on, please. 2, 1.
So we managed to get ourselves a nice gap to leeward for coming off the line, and we come out in nice clean air with a nice lane. In the practice race before this, the right hand side of the course seemed to pay more, partly due to the strong tide that we're running against on the left hand side of the course. Straight away off the line we're looking to try and tack off and get to the right side of the course. We're just waiting for a gap.
3, 2, 1, make it go up. Oh! She ain't doing her turns. Okay, let's keep her flat. Let's chuck up.
So once we were clear to tack, we went for it and we started making our way towards the right hand side of the course. The boat to leeward of us had a much closer call with the International 14, which resulted in some quite angry shouting. This is the best angle of the incident we can get, and leave it up to you to decide who's in the wrong. The only certainty is the guys in the classic International 14 weren't very happy. We continued out to the right side, pushing all the way towards the ley line.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to make this, but we're just going to turn around and see.
Unfortunately, it seemed like the left side paid a little bit more than the right. So coming into the top mark here, we just want a nice clean ley line and just be safe on the boats coming in on starboard. So we're just trying to find a gap that we can tack into onto the starboard ley line. Coming in, we think that we can just tack in front of the Melges coming across here, but we decide better of it and don't want to risk any penalties. And we go behind them and just tack a little bit above them.
East chip free. Okay, bit of kicker east free. Okay, once we get to the mark, go for it, yeah.
So I think that we've come around the windward mark, third of all the Melges, and now we just want to focus on getting the boat up to speed. The dead downwind legs were definitely our weakest point of sailing for the whole race. I really struggled to find the balance between going high and fast and low and slow. No matter what we did, we kind of just came out worse than everyone else around us.
Nice. Try to have it 2 strap tight, yeah. On the edge is where I want it. Okay, we've got pulse here. Okay, I'm going to take a sheet. You got the dagger board? Alright? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Clear from behind. just keep that info coming to me.
I think sailing these boats with a new crew really highlights the importance of good communication, especially downwind and asymmetric boats.
Just say up or down.
It's really important for the helm to get information on how much pressure is in the kite so they can adjust their heading to keep the boat on the plane and keep moving quickly.
With the weight as well.
As someone who crews more often than they helm, which is probably evident in the video, this is something that I'll take into my sailing when I'm crewing next.
Okay. There's that. Keep it going, build the speed. There you go. Nice, pressure on here, there you go. Let's take that. Ease it. Yeah, there you go. Keep her curling for me. Yeah, big pressure here. Let's jibe in this, ready? 3, 2, 1.
So we have to jibe before the other boats around us and head towards the left side of the course going downwind. Unfortunately, this was another mistake which ended up costing us a couple positions going into the leeward mark. After completing our jibe coming in towards the leeward mark, we found ourselves coming in on starboard ley line. Usually this isn't too much of an issue as you'll be the inside boat and can call mark room. But unfortunately we overlooked the fact that it was a starboard mark rounding, which meant we were coming in as outside boat. On the final approach towards the leeward mark, we have to decide which way we want to go around the island. Our options are we can either drop the kite and beat up and go around the island in an anti-clockwise direction, or keep the spinnaker and go in a clockwise direction. We both thought that the first of those two options was the best, and it seems like everyone else agreed with us. As you can see here, we're now paying the price for coming into the mark as outside boat, as we have to let 3 boats on our inside to the mark before we can get there. About 10 seconds after rounding the mark, we realised that the yellow mark that we have to round is basically just a close haul course, and we're now in for a world of pain in just dirty air. With hindsight, we probably would have been better off just keeping the spinnaker up and doing something different, as there wasn't really any tactical advantages that we could employ getting to the next mark. We just had to all go on the same course. Having said that, we did manage to get over 1 mile just beneath us and recover our place. By this stage, some of the gusts had really picked up and were probably in around the 18 to 20 knot mark. We delay hoisting our kite here and get a bit of extra height just to make it a nice easy hoist to avoid any unwanted capsizes.
Fast as you can. Grab sheet, let's go. You may have to come and slide back once we get up on the plane. Freeze for me. Yeah. There we go, pressure up.
So as we approach the island, there's some nice sets of waves here that we can try and surf and just get the boat really planing downwind. This was definitely the best part of the race for us, and we had a lot of fun kind of surfing the waves. One of the big decisions we had to make was how close we wanted to go to the island. Originally we didn't want to go that close, but we felt since we were behind it was worth taking a risk and going a bit closer to the island and seeing if we get any gusts coming down from the top of the island. This definitely wasn't our cleanest of jibes, with me nearly dropping the tiller and us losing control. So initially out of the jibe we didn't look too bad. We seemed to hold a nice angle that we could hold going all the way around the back of the island. But unfortunately we run into the shiftiness and randomness of the back of the island.
Yeah. Out of there, yeah.
So unfortunately it's here that the wind starts to shift around 90 degree shifts up and down between 3 and 18 knots, which makes it quite difficult to sail. We aren't too concerned at the moment, as the boats that are actually outside of us and ahead of us also aren't in wind, so we're just hoping to carry a puff of breeze down to them. Although this is definitely one of the more frustrating times that you're racing and sailing. So as we're moving along here, it feels like we just keep getting lifted and lifted towards the island. So we decide to, rather than crash into the island, we'll just throw in a jibe.
Just get the kite out.
And we get such a good exit of this jibe, it knocks Tom off.
Come on. Haha, look at that, man.
Unfortunately, this short moment of hope is quickly dashed from us as we run out of breeze.
Okay, going for a jump.
Better position here.
Yeah, I see it. It's just.
So at this point we decide to drop the spinnaker, just the wind had moved forward and the angle actually became too tight. So just typical Ireland's Eye things, the wind shifting all over the place.
Okay, yeah. Just.
So when rounding the island, we decided to go as close as we possibly could to the western side. We had hoped that we could use our momentum to take us through the light patch and we wouldn't be long getting back into breeze. Sadly, we didn't quite have the momentum to make it through the big light patch, and we're just bobbling along here waiting to get back into the pressure. However, we do get back into pressure pretty quickly, and I don't think we lost anything from going close. Quite a few people decide to tack and head towards the beach to try and get out of the tide, and after a bit of conversation we both agreed that's the right thing to do as well. But when you have a flood tide, you can actually get quite a strong back eddy by the beach on Ireland's Eye, and we tried to make the most out of this. So now we're just speeding up towards the turning mark that we rounded originally, and we just have to leave this to port as we approach the finish line. Fortunately, it seems like everyone that we were close to in our class also followed us around the same direction around Ireland's Eye, so there wasn't really any tactical battles between which way was quicker. Although on the final beat up to the line, we do manage to repass another Melges. And that is us through the line to finish the Round Island Race 2026. I think we ended the race in around 8th place, and it was a good fun race to do with an old friend that I haven't sailed with in 4 years. It's definitely a race that myself and Connor will look to do next year, and we'll certainly have it in the calendar. What boat we do it in though remains to be decided. And finally, well done to Peter Boyle for winning the race in the PY class.